Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alicia and today we're going to be checking in for week 2 of December. Week 2 for us is going to be from the 10th to the 16th of December. I already have all of our expenses written down as well, and our little savings tracker or savings challenge for the month. The planner that I have here is, as always, the Erin Condren monthly planner in the 7x9 design. I do have all of these spreads already set up with you guys, and I have videos for all of these spreads too if you guys are curious about any of them. Now let's go ahead and get started. To try to make this a shorter video, I am pretty sure week 1's video is a lot longer because I was pretty chatty. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I know that we had a bunch of bills come out for this week, so we're going to be laying down a lot of bills. And as always, I am going to be using my daily budget app that I usually use. This is going to be where I put all of our expenses. After every time we make a transaction, my husband texts me or I automatically put it in. I categorize it, and then it's just easy for me to look back on when we check in. It's just, we always have our phone with us, so I just much prefer to use the app to keep track of our transactions. I know that we could also check like our bank accounts and everything too, but sometimes the bank account, when they categorize it, sometimes the terms that they use could be a little confusing for me, and I'm just like, I don't know what that is, but this is just what works for us. This is just our preference. Now, on the 10th, we did not spend anything. On the 11th, we had a couple of bills come out. The first one was for our Verizon bill, or phone bill, and then we also had Netflix come out as well, which was $12.71. It definitely went up from what it used to be, but I had one of you guys tell me that yours went up as well for that and for Disney Plus. Hopefully it stays like this because we do only have one screen. Let's see, and we don't really use Netflix too often. We do use it a couple times a week, but it's not one of our daily ones. I feel like because of our daughter, we use Disney Plus all of the time. But for that one, we get it for free through our Verizon bill. It was like a promo. I don't know if they still have it or not, but we kind of got it in like a bundle. So for student loans, this one also came out on the 12th. So I wanted to put that on there. This is for my student loans that came out. This was $157.71. Nothing was on the 13th. On the 14th, we had some categories as well that came out. And I realized I never zoomed you guys in. I sometimes don't know if I'm zooming in too much or not, but on the 14th, we had a grocery expense, which is this pink color to the right. One of them was from Walmart. We did get some groceries from Walmart, and that was $24. Then we also from Walmart got pouches as well for our baby, and that was $32. We just stocked up on some of her pouches. We give her like one pouch a day for like her snack, or sometimes when she wakes up in the middle of the night, we give her a pouch as well. That was $32 for those. Then we also spent $25 to replenish our gas. It seems like we do replenish gas at least once a week. I know my husband had to go into office this day, so I'm happy that at least lasted until the next day. But the last thing that we spent this day was from Wegmans. We also got some groceries from Wegmans, which was $38. And that was it for that day. Now for the 15th. For the 15th, we had a couple of bills come out this day. One of them was our electric bill, and we also had our gas bill come out. For these two were the only other bills remaining that came out for the week, but both of these are our utilities bills that came out. We did have also one expense too from Popeyes. We also got Popeyes and Chick-fil-A. Though I don't know if I can fit this. It's going to cover the payday script that I put it up there. And I can't remove this because this is on the clear paper. So it's going to rip up. I'm just going to put it on the 16th. It's okay. It's not a big deal to me. Hopefully I'm not bothering any of you guys by doing that. But I'm just going to put it on the 16th. But that was $37 spent from Chick-fil-A. And then for that day, we also had Tito that was spent. But we did replenish on gas as well, because we went to visit Dustin's mother, which is like an hour-and-a-half drive away. So we definitely did need to replenish on gas this day. And then we also did get that Tito for $13 for just me and him. And then we did treat his mom and his brother to Starbucks. And that refill was $25 for Starbucks. That was all of the expenses for this week, which is quite a bit. I guess because in my head, I thought that we spent less over the course of days. But in reality, we still ended up spending a good amount of money, especially with bills, but it's okay. Okay, let me just put down these non-spend stickers. These are just to indicate the days that we did not spend any funds. Looks like we only have 2 for this day. So far, it looks like a pretty spendy month. And then before I forget to, the last thing that I wanted to put down is from last week when we did our week 1 check-in, we did decide to save $40, and we chose to save that from our gas category. I'm just gonna put it in here randomly, but that was $40 that we decided to save from our gas category. And this week we're going to choose some other categories to save from too, but that will be at the end of the video. But that was $40 for 25 and 15. Now to actually balance everything out, we're going to go ahead and flip to our weekly check-in spread. I went ahead and filled out the categories for the 5 that we check in for, which are these 5, and these are also the ones that we budget for the month. These are the ones I always say would be like our cash envelopes if we were to have cash envelopes, but they're like our electronic cash envelopes. And then I don't roll over anything, so I just put a dash for all of those as well. And also, just because I forget to mention this all the time, we are cashless budgeters. We don't use cash, or at least we try to not use cash as much as possible. We always use our credit card for everything. It's just what's been working for us. So we are electronic budgeters. And this is just how we budget from month to month. I used to use an Excel sheet, but I've just find so much enjoyment by having a physical planner in front of me with stickers. It just makes it a lot more fun and motivating to keep up with our budget. Now let's go ahead and check in for eating out, which is this teal color, which is this gingerbready color or a light gingerbread color. We have 3 of them, 25 plus 13 plus 37. That in total is $75 that we spent from our eating out category. Next we have groceries. Groceries, which is this pinky color. We have 2 of them, one 24 and then another one for $38. That is a total of $62 that is spent from groceries. Then we have gas. We have quite a bit from gas for this week, especially because we did that challenge. And we also went to visit his mother, so that was another 33. So 25 plus 33. And then plus that $40 from that savings challenge is $89 in total that was spent from gas. Oops, not 89, $98 total. So $98 total from gas. And then next we have allowance. Nothing was spent from our allowance, which is good. That's at least something. Then last but not least, we have $32 that was spent from our babies category. Nothing spent here. And then $32. All right, that looks like it's everything. Nothing is missing. So we're looking good for those expenses. Now to check in for the weekly check-in and see what else we have left over for the rest of these 2 weeks. I feel like we definitely should have thought about this more and budgeted more for the holiday season, but it's okay. I'll remember for next year. But we have $153 minus 75, which means we still have $78 remaining for our eating out category. For groceries, we were left with $150. That minus 62 equals $88 left over. Then we had for gas, $115 minus 98, which means we have $17 left over for gas. And I don't think that's going to be enough. We'll probably be negative for this one. I probably should have waited to save that extra $40 from that savings challenge from a different category, but it's okay. For allowance, nothing was spent, which means we still have $15 in here. And then for pups and our beans category, we have 54. That minus 32 means we have $22 left over. So that is looking good. Now let's go ahead and focus on our bills. I just want to go ahead and copy over the funds. For gas, that was $71.38. Utilities gas was $71.38. For our electric, that was $73.25. $73.25. Those are the two bills accounted for. We have our student loans, $157.71. $157.71. Netflix has gone up. Netflix is supposed to be $10.59, and this is supposed to be a fixed category, but because it's changed and I don't have like an actual column over here, I'm going to go ahead and put the difference in our little holder category just so we don't miscalculate. So you guys will see me do that in a second. But for Verizon, $179.18. $178.19. I think I said the wrong number, but it's $178.19. And then that is all the ones that came in for this week. So that is 5 bills in total. And I just like to put a check next to it so I can remember to not miss any of them. Okay, so we're looking good. We no longer need this monthly view since everything's now accounted for, but I do want to at least put that difference in there. The original price of our Netflix is $10.59. That minus the difference, it is now $12.71, which seems to be the new amount every single month. Means we are short by $2.12. So I want to put that difference in here. The reason why, again, is because this is a fixed amount. We did not foresee it changing for this month, so I do want to still account for that difference. So I'm going to put that difference in here. All right, now that we have that down, let's talk about sinking funds. For our sinking funds, the only one that came out was for water, and water is $147. The actual amount is $146.59, but I do like to round up to the dollar amount. It's just easier to work with. It's just what our preference is. But water came out from our credit card. So now let's do our actual calculations. We're going to go ahead and balance out our checking account now and our savings account. So I did want to update you guys since a lot of these numbers have now changed. These are no longer the accurate amounts. And I have some of these older stickers here to kind of note it down. But the first one is for our short-term savings. This has now increased by 1 paycheck. So let me show you guys. The paycheck amount that's increased by is $1,500. And I realized I put these backwards. This is my paycheck came in first, and then my husband's paycheck came in second. So I kind of put it backwards, but I'm just going to leave it as is. But I do get paid 3 times this month, which is really nice. That means how much is in here is currently $4,759.05 in this short-term saving. And you guys will see that has increased by $1,500. And I decided that I am going to keep that extra paycheck in this account until our baby is born in February, because I know that the medical bills are probably going to be high, and I'd much rather just have those funds in there so we're ready for those bills. But this is how much is currently in there. If you guys know, we do budget monthly, and how we do it is we are a month ahead, which means all of the income that comes in for the current month, we store away in our short-term savings account for the following month. It just saves us the hassle of trying to budget everything and seeing if we have enough funds, if the funds will come in on time. It's something that has really helped us a lot, because we did used to budget per paycheck, and especially since time just loves to run away from me, it's just been really helpful to make this just one less thing that we have to worry about. So essentially all of our paychecks that come in for December, we will keep this and let this pile up in our short-term savings, so when January starts, we can transfer that $5,000 or whatever we budget for into this account, and we're ready to go for all of the bills, all the expenses. all of our budgeted amounts for the month, and then we just repeat the cycle. So all income that comes in for January, we just store away for February, so on and so forth. It's just been very, very convenient for us to do it this way. And how we started doing it this way is we did get taxes. So taxes are going to be coming around, but we did get our taxes, and then we just kind of just started implementing it using the funds from our taxes to be 1 month ahead for the following month. I'm thinking of doing a video because I did over the years get a couple of you guys ask me about how to start the budget. So I'm thinking of doing a video like that. I'm not 100% sure if you guys will find it useful or not, but I am thinking of having that as another video. There's a lot of videos I'm trying to pump out for you guys. Okay, so we talked about the income. So that is now the current amount that is in the short-term savings. I think by next week when we budget together again, I'll probably be getting a little bit of interest in here, but we'll talk about that when time comes. If you guys are curious about how our savings accounts or checking accounts are hooked up, I will have videos linked below as always that will go into depth about how these accounts are set up, how they kind of function together, all of that fun stuff. But now to balance out this checking account. So we're going to go ahead and do those calculations. I'm going to go ahead and rewrite the categories. So we have a daily, which are kind of our electronic cash envelopes, the ones we just checked in for. We have our bills for all of our bills, and of course our sinking funds. The previous week I did have Ally in here because we did budget to transfer Ally $100, but I didn't do it yet when we did our budget, so I didn't want to be short. I just wanted to show you guys that money in here. It's something different that I tried for this month. Normally I would kind of like reiterate these numbers and just copy them over, but I don't think I'm going to do that today, so we're just going to jump right into it. Okay, for a daily, let's see how much we spent from this category, and it seems like it might be a good bit. We have 75 plus 62 plus 98 plus 32. That is a total of $267 that we spent for this week. Then for bills, we do have a bunch of bills that came out. So we have Netflix, which is $10.59, but it did go up. So we're going to add that additional $2.12 to make that full $12.71 that the price increased to. And then we also have student loans A, which is mine, $157.71, $178.19, $73.25. And then plus $71.38. So those are all the bills that came out for this week. $493.24. Last but not least, we have sinking funds, which is $147. And that was for a quarterly water bill. So $147 came out of our sinking funds. Okay, so let's go ahead and calculate how much we still have for the remaining of the week. For our daily, we had $487. That minus the $267 that we just spent means we still have $220 for the rest of the month. Then for bills, we had $3,094.34 minus the $493.24. That means we still have $2,601.10 left over. Our mortgage is going to come out, so this is going to get drained. Next one is sinking funds. We have 1175. That minus the 147 means we have 1028 left over in our sinking funds for the rest of the month, or in general to carry over for following months. Now to do some transfers, and then we can balance out the rest of it. For the transfers, since we have our second checking account that houses our daily bills and sinking funds amounts in here, if you guys see the last time we left off, we balanced out perfectly to what our end result was for week 1. We have to transfer again because we do use our credit card, so we still have the funds for a lot of things that was spent since we don't use cash. The easiest ones first I'm going to do is for daily and sinking funds, since we know that for these two categories, like eating out, groceries, any of our sinking funds, we always use your credit card for all of them. So for daily, $267 plus 147. That is $414 that we owe our credit card because we paid with all of that stuff with our credit card. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer that over first to our primary checking, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, next what we're going to do is we're going to now, the only category we didn't transfer yet is bills. Bills is a little bit different because we do have a lot of bills come out of our credit card, and if you guys know, the reason why is because we try to hook up whatever we can to our credit card so we can accumulate those rewards and also help us build our credit. The ones that we have come out of credit cards are the ones that we have a C next to. So we know Netflix has a C, this comes out of credit card. This came out of our checking account, and then our gas also came out of our credit card. That's also why I also keep these dashes here. It's just easier for me to reference. But out of all 5 bills that came out for this week's check-in, 2 of them came out of credit card. That means we owe our credit card for these 2. And that is for Netflix, the new amount is $12.71. Because we put the difference in here, as you guys know, since it was supposed to be a fixed amount, but that is the new amount that Netflix is now charging. So $12.71 plus for gas, which was $71.38. The rest of them came out automatic payments from our checking account, so they already have their money. We no longer have those funds, so we don't have to transfer. But with those 2 that came out of our credit card, we owe our credit card $84.09. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer that from here to our primary checking, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, so we are looking good. All of those transfers are now done. All of these bills are officially checked in for, so we're looking good. The last but not least, we're going to go ahead and do our final budget. And then let me tell you guys how much is in here now. So the current amount that is in our short term, the current amount that is in our second checking account, and this is the account that houses all of these funds in here. It is now $3,849.10 after all of the transfers. So let's see if this matches. Let's go ahead and add these up. So our final amounts that we have is 220 plus 2601 and 10 cents plus 1028, and that is 3849 10 cents. Oh, perfect. Okay, so we are matching beautifully with what is currently in that account for the remaining of the month. So these are looking good. Savings, checking is good. These 2 accounts I don't really disclose. This one is just because it's our long-term savings, and this one is because it's just a hot mess because I'm constantly making payments because we do have we're thinking about opening up another credit card, but we'll talk about that when time comes. But currently we have one specifically for gas, that's 4%, and then we have another one that's 2% on everything. So we're constantly making payments for our credit cards, and I just don't pay attention to this account like that, honestly, because I have a tendency of forgetting if I made a payment recently. But that is what these accounts are looking like so far. Now, just to do the last thing that I like to do sometimes, which is just to show you guys another way I like to calculate it. So last week we know that we ended with $47.56.34 from the end of week 1's balance. That minus the $267 that we spent minus the $493.24 minus the $147 also equals this amount. So we are balanced out perfectly that way as well. So we are looking good for our weekly check-in. So normally this would be the end of the video, but we are going to also look at our savings tracker real quick, our savings challenge real quick. We still have 3 more amounts that we want to save, which is $15, $9, and $26. And I feel like we're spending so much from our categories. I don't want to touch them anymore because I feel like we're going to end up being negative for a lot of them. So I actually think I might just withdraw them from some of our sinking funds. And honestly, I might just withdraw all of them out of our clothes category, since clothes we have a tendency of not touching for quite a bit of time. So the amounts that we still have to save is 15 plus 9 plus 26. That equals $50 in total that we should save. And I'm going to just take that out of clothes. And today is the 18th. So I'm just going to take it out of close, and 12, 18, $50. We'll do this is for December savings challenge. All right, so we're taking it out for December savings challenge. We're obviously not checking it in yet, so we'll do this in week 3 check-in. So I'm gonna just leave that as is. I'm not gonna check it because that will remind me to check it in for next week. That's also why I really like doing certain check marks. Okay, we have 25, 15, 26, and then we have $9. So we saved all the rest of it. I don't know if I'm gonna move these around. Oh, I realized both of these say 15 anyway, so it doesn't make a difference. But honestly, since the sticker covers a number anyway, you guys could just put these however you guys want. What was I saying? I keep losing my breath. But okay, so that means we successfully finished the challenge for December, which is nice. So all of 5 of these amounts combined equals $90 that we were able to save, and that's $90 that we're going to put towards our debt as well. If you guys have watched my November budget, I did complete the November saving challenge too, but I forgot to apply that towards our debt. So when we pay our student loan debt for December, I'm going to remember to put that additional $85 and the $90 towards the debt. I feel like I'm losing my breath over here, but that is now officially going to be the end of this video. Thank you guys so much as always for watching. If you guys have any questions, please do feel free to let me know, and hopefully you guys have an amazing day, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Bye.